My name is Alina Leskova, and today my topic, I hope it's not trivial too, let's fall in love with bugs. So I didn't know about some trends about telling biography, so I'm telling about myself. My name is Alina Leskova, and I'm working in SoftSwiss, and I worked in 3 different companies, and yes, I collected premium bugs for you for today. So let's look at agenda. There are going to be 6 different small topics I'm going to discuss. First of them is what is a bug. Second one, the history of a bug, and 4 different funny bugs from different spheres, and I hope it's going to be funny. The first part is what is a bug. I think we all know that every day we can face with it, but who can actually describe what is it? And to describe it, we need to define who are the devs. As I believe, devs are people who are fixing bugs and development solutions. But when the production goes a little bit hot and there are too many bugs, developers are people who blame each other in making bugs, and it's not a funny story, not good for all of us, but to be honest, it's true. And as a result, we can say that developers are people who are producing and fixing bugs, and also sometimes developing some new solutions, but we're parents of bugs. So what is a bug? A bug is some incorrect logic which produce unexpected results. And from my point of view, I'm not able to write a code without any of the bugs, but I want to focus on preventing some critical bugs, which will be very painful to solve. And to know how to make a critical bugs, we need to see some examples of it, of some great failures or not so great. And that is the main idea of my topic, defining how we can create a critical bug and prevent do it in our code. So history of a bug is just several slides, because if you are tired of your work with bugs and you want something to shame, there's a piece of paper. It is logbook with the first computer registered bug, and it was done in 1947. And if you want something to blame, you can go to the National Museum of American History in Washington, and you can take a look at this very historical phrase like first actual case of a bug. I believe that it was the day when we agreed that we are not only producing features, but also creating some funny bugs. And yes, we can blame this paper for using this word bug. So let's go to the bugs. And the first of them is year 2000 problem. Really simple idea, like the world was not prepared for the 21st century, and the failure was done in different spheres. So in Singapore, taximeter stopped working. In Japan, an alarm sounded at nuclear power plant. And in March in the United States, Coast Guard. And yes, it was in March. Is that this simple idea, like we're getting a new century, it broke their projects for 1 year, for 2 years, and it's still even in Polish trains. And Norway and Finland had to change their national identification number. Even those, how we were not prepared. And I want to highlight that working with dates is tricky. Maybe somebody was faced with some flaky tests, which work differently because of time zones. And when we work with the dates, it's important to know that it's a little bit another type of data, and we should be ready for such problems. from my point of view, not critical, but maybe for my business it's going to be critical. The second funny bug, and maybe actually not so funny, is GitLab database outage. Maybe somebody felt it on themselves, because in 2017, GitLab deleted their production database, and it actually, for me, sounds really horrible. Like I was fixing some critical bugs, not in GitLab, but anyway. And if I delete a production database, I will not be there today, I think. And that is interesting. How did they do it? So let's take a deep look at it. First of all, they have seen that they can't make a replication of database. And the structure they had two DB clusters. DB1 is a production database, and DB2 is a replication. So they decided to go to the DB2, clean all the data, and make a normal backup like it should be. And yes, they were trying to, before the remove, they were trying to copy data to replica, and it didn't succeed. And they went to the storage. They have, since there are different incomplete backups, and there is no possibility to create new one. And yes, it was 12 a.m., and they decided, oh, let's remove them. They found the removal command, and they put it in console. And they started deletion, but then they understood that yes, it's a night, and yes, it is production database. So the person just didn't look at the console where he was trying to do this command. And when he understood, he was trying to Control-C, as we usually do. And it helped a little bit, like there were less than 10% of production data, and actually no full replica on a database. And we were trying to fix the replica, but now we need it the most. And they have different scenarios of making replica. They did it to Amazon S3 and to other services. At least it should be 3, but no one of them works. So they found out that all their replication scenario didn't work all this time, and sometimes it is in production. For example, in my experience, there was a case when Sidekiq didn't work at all. So, and everybody was sitting and just, oh, it's okay, because somebody added parameters and there was no compatible versions, and after they added it, no Sidekiq running, but parameters they added to see some metrics from Sidekiq. Nobody worried about no metrics at all, and no Sidekiq at all. So as a lab, they were trying to find a replica, and they found it on staging database because they just did it for fun. And then they copied from staging database to production database, which is not actually normal, but the only one source of data. And it took 18 hours because there were 2 different parts of the world where the servers were. And for the 6 hours, they were unable to recover the data. So there are a lot of different insights in this case, because running untested command in production is not safe. Doing it at night is not safe too. Code review is really important, because maybe if somebody was looking at this deletion, he will say, oh no, please don't do it. Testing is important, even if we don't have any testing departments. We need to know that they could go to the Amazon S3 and take a look if they have replica when they develop this solution. I don't understand actually. And more other insights. But was this incident really about replica? So the GitLab report is focused on those description, but I believe it was not the main idea. Yeah, I think that from the start there was totally something wrong, and they maybe ask themselves why replication lag is so big. And actually there was some words about it, that all this time there was no available connection to the Postgres, and there was totally different problems, that they had some recursive process in production database which didn't allow them to make a full replica, but they fixed totally different situation. But if we're talking about this bug, it's totally different story, and it's a topic for another meetup actually. So funny bug number 3, my favorite one, very short, it's forgotten space character. Only one space character can break all the system. So there was some extension for Linux systems, and they prepared an installation script. And yes, it looked like this. And it deleted all the user folder. And what is important after it, when people were trying to install those installation, they, after that, they needed to reinstall all OS system. I don't think it should work like that, but it worked for this bug. And bug number 4, actually the last one, is from one of my companies. And there are going to be no any screenshots of metrics or anything else. So just imagine a working day and working situation. So first of all, it was with Sidekiq, and Sidekiq is a background processing for Ruby. I think everybody is familiar with that. And what was? We were sitting near the monitor, and we were looking at our metrics going high, high, and high, and we understood that something gone wrong. And we found an abusive job, abusive worker, which, which was trying to kill our production. So we decided to kill him first. We found it, we killed him, and we decided, oh, we look at the metrics, it's going to be okay now. Then we come back 5 minutes later, and there was again this job after the killing. And we did it several times, and it couldn't just die. And we didn't know what to do, and it's a very harmful situation, actually, you know. But the main idea, how did the dev could do an immortal job? So first of all, let's find out how Sidekiq trying to kill the job. Raises inside in the process a new exception, which is interrupt shutdown. And yes, there are words here. Do not rescue this error in your workers. And how the worker really have been, it has performed, run, and if any of exceptions runs, we need to restart the worker. When Sidekiq was trying to kill this worker, we safely rescued it as we defined, and we restarted the worker, so there was no possibility to rescue it and to get out of this job, because exception is a base class for all of the exceptions. And that was funny. Now it is funny, but at this day it was not so funny. So, and here you can see that rescue exception is highlighted with yellow. It's because of Robocop. And yeah, it's painful to fix Robocop when it's telling us fix something, but it's important. And rescue an exception is really, really bad idea, no matter where you are trying to implement it. And in conclusion, I want to say that understanding others' bugs is important, and it can make our work a little bit more different and interesting just before it started to fall. And do not copy others' people's mistakes. And yes, for this, it is the end of my presentation. But I generated a QR code. You cannot download my presentation because nobody understands anything in my presentations except me. But you can connect with me on LinkedIn, and if it's not working, there's my profile, how it looks like. So that's all from my side. Thank you. Questions? Usually there are no questions when nobody understands.
Do you continue collecting funny bugs?
Yeah.
So we can wait for the following.
If you want.
Of course.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Maybe anyone else can share interesting bug. Funny one.
We should open the channel for the funny bugs. Let's share them.
It's gonna be funny without names. So that's all.
Okay. Thank you.